In this video, we'll be talking about urine. It's the process of formation of urine. Urine is actually a liquid byproduct of metabolism. So if we see urine, it is a liquid byproduct of metabolism. And it is produced in in human beings and many other animals. In other terms, we can also say it is a liquid waste which is being produced by the kidney. So it is a liquid waste produced by kidneys. These two are actually, they define the urine. Now, the urine formation is a very systematic process, and this systematic process has been divided into three major steps. So when we talk of the steps of the formation of the urine, it has been classified as, first, it is the glomerular filtration. We will study each step properly so as to understand how the formation of urine actually takes place. So first is glomerular filtration. The second important step in this formation is the reabsorption of solutes. Reabsorption of solutes. And the third important step over here is the tubular secretion. So when we will be studying the formation of the urine, we have to keep in mind the three basic steps that are involved in the formation of the process of urine. Now let us first start with the glomerular filtration. The first step is the glomerular filtration. Glomerular filtration is actually, when we define it as a process, it produces a protein-free liquid, and the glomerular filtrate is filtered from the blood of glomerular capillaries to the lumen of the Bowman capsule. And this process is known as glomerular filtration. Let us first understand what is actually the process. Now, you all know that the Bowman's capsule is a structure which encloses, this leads to the proximal or convoluted tubule, that is PCT we were talking of earlier. This is the lining of the glomerulus, and here is the afferent arteriole. This afferent arteriole is bringing the blood. Now this forms a system of network over here, having all the capillaries present inside, and these capillaries basically help in the process. They carry the blood and they help in the process of filtration. These are specialized cells which are present over here, and these are known as podocytes. Let us first study the diagram, then we'll be able to understand better. This is the afferent arteriole and this is the efferent arteriole, which leaves the glomerulus. This leads to PCT, that is the proximal convoluted tubule, and these are the loops. These are the loops which are present into the glomerulus. This is the urinary space. These are the podocytes. This is Bowman's capsule. And this is the glomerulus. Also remember, this entire structure is the Malpighian body. This entire structure is body, or another term for it is renal corpuscle. Now, this is the structure of the renal corpuscle. Now, what happens over here when we are studying? Let me first draw the diagram to explain it to you properly. Now, this is the structure of the renal corpuscle. Now, when we are talking of the formation of the urine, as told, it is a protein-free fluid, and this glomerular filtrate is filtered from the blood of the glomerular capillaries to the lumen of the Bowman's capsule. And this process is known as glomerular filtration. So what happens over here is that efferent arterioles bringing the blood, that is forming a network of capillaries which is known as the glomerulus within the Bowman's capsule, due to the pressure exerted, which we'll be discussing, the waste or the fluid which is free from protein, it reaches to the, or is present in the Bowman's capsule space, that is the lumen of the Bowman's capsule, or we call it as a urinary space. From here, after the filtration, it passes to the PCT, and further the other steps takes place in the tubular system. And when we are talking of this filtration, approximately 1100 to 1200 ml of blood, around approximately 1100 to 1200 ml of blood is being filtered by the kidneys per minute. So this is filtration is almost this much per minute, and that is, we can say, around 1/5 of the blood is the blood which is being pumped by each ventricle of a heart in a minute. So it comes out to be that much. Now, the blood which is present in the glomerulus capillaries, that is these capillaries, that is which are entering through the efferent arteriole. An efferent arteriole is a branch of renal artery. So it enters over here and it is separated from the Bowman's capsule, that is the space between the two, that is these are the capillaries and this is the Bowman's capsule. So they are having a separation through 3 layers. These 3 membranes are known as filtration units. That is the endothelial lining of glomerular blood vessel. So over here we have the 3 layers, that is the endothelial lining of the blood capillaries, the basement membrane of glomerulus, and the third is the Bowman's capsule, that is the inner lining. So this Bowman's capsule, there are three linings over here within which the filtration is taking place. That is, the first lining is of the capillary endothelial lining, the basement lining of the glomerulus, and the Bowman's capsule has two layers. You can see over here, the outer layer of this Bowman's capsule is known as the parietal layer and the inner is known as the visceral layer. So when we talk of the Bowman's capsule, the Bowman's capsule outer layer, this layer is parietal and the inner one is the visceral layer, and these two layers form the Bowman's capsule surround boundary. Now the parietal layer is made up of simple squamous epithelium, while visceral lining has podocytes. So these podocytes are actually spindle-shaped long cells, and these podocytes are important for filtration. These cells are arranged very closely over here, and as you can see, there is a pore, right? So this pore is known as slit pores or filtration slits. So this area over here between the two podocytes is very small and is known as the filtration unit or the filtration slits. Now the blood is filtered through these membranes, that is the three membranes we have talked about, and also through the slits of the podocytes. Now, when the blood is being filtered, all the constituents of the blood, that means the other soluble substances which are present in the blood except the proteins which are macromolecules and other large blood cells, do not pass through. So it has only the material like as glucose, the mineral salts, creatinine, urea, all these substances pass through the three membranes and the filtration slits present between the podocytes, only leaving behind the proteins which are macromolecules, plus it leaves behind other large cells such as RBC and all those cells which are present within the blood. So these are not allowed to pass through, while other substances such as urea, glucose, creatine, everything passes through these layers. Now the driving force, that is how the filtration is taking place, that means the blood within the capillaries is flowing with great pressure, but there has to be a certain force behind these which enables the filtration process. So it is provided by the difference between the glomerular blood pressure, that is two things over here. The glomerular blood pressure helps in the filtration, and the second is the total pressure. Let us write it down this way. The forces to bring about, we say GF, that is glomerular filtration. The first is the glomerular blood pressure, and second is the total pressure exerted by the osmotic pressure of plasma proteins and the pressure of the filtrate which is already present in the Bowman's capsule. So two pressures are there, that is the total pressure exerted by the osmotic pressure of plasma, by the osmotic pressure of plasma, and the pressure of the filtrate which is already present, pressure of the filtrate already present in the Bowman's capsule space. In the Bowman's capsule space. Now what happens is this difference, the difference between these two will bring about the filtration, because already the fluid must be present over here, a certain amount of filtrate, that pressure and the pressure of the plasma. The difference, the greater the difference between the two, higher will be the rate of the filtration due to the osmotic concentration. So the amount of filtrate which is formed by the kidneys per minute is known as glomerular filtration rate. So when we talk of glomerular filtration rate is, in short, it is written as GFR, glomerular filtration rate. It is the amount of filtrate, glomerular filtration rate. It is the amount of filtrate formed by the kidneys per minute. And this GFR is a very important factor. Now due to this, the pressure, that is the difference, the higher the pressure between these two, or the greater the difference between these two pressure, higher will be the GFR rate. Now due to the filtration, we have said that the plasma only passes through, but the proteins and the large size cells which are present in the blood are not able to pass through the membranes. So this process is known as ultrafiltration, and due to the ultrafiltration, the filtrate is actually resembling somewhat the protein free plasma, because the proteins are not allowed to pass through the membrane and also the other large cells. So therefore the filtrate almost composition is somewhat similar to plasma, which is protein free. Now coming to the GFR, the GFR is an important factor, and GFR of a healthy person, if we talk of a healthy person, it comes out to be around 180 liters per day. It is 180 liters per day for a healthy person. GFR for a healthy person, that comes out to be around 125 milliliter per minute. That is the rate of the filtration of the blood by the kidneys. Now seeing to this amount, and 1/5 of the blood is circulated very quickly. Now out of this major amount, only 1 to 1.5 liters 1 to 1.5 liters of urine is produced every day. So this much amount of urine is produced daily. And why this reduction is there? It is because Again, the useful substances or water is also again reabsorbed by the tubular system. Now, this glomerular filtration rate is an important uh, criteria by which we can judge the efficiency of the kidney. And according to Ludwig, a scientist, there are various factors that affect the GFR or the glomerular filtration rate. In the next video, we'll be discussing about the GFR rate and its regulation.